Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Golden Opportunities Coaching and Pro Wrestling Logic YouTube channels. Haven't been here in a while. Long story short, hope to be here more in 2023 and beyond, but who knows where schedules go. Anyway, this is the Superstars of Wrestling review series. We've got over 2,500 or so audios up already, and we continue to move forward with those. Superstars of Wrestling, one of my favorite childhood-related projects and prospects. So we're going to go, and I believe they've got almost half of 1996 up on Peacock as well. We've got over 300 reviewed here. We're going to go and kind of dedicate some time to that. We open the September 23rd, 1990 edition, though, with a tag team match. Henry Godwinn and Bam Bam Bigelow against Tatanka and his tag team partner. Of course, Bigelow, just having left the $1 Million Corporation earlier in the year after his WrestleMania loss, Henry Godwinn, now a babyface, which is just kind of a weird thing. Not your best of matches. Kama is Tatanka's partner, and the $1 Million Corporation concept is kind of wearing down, running down a little bit. Match is relatively basic. Bigelow and Tatanka, of course, having teamed in the past. But the $1 Million Corporation thing kind of winding down as Steve Austin is here by the end of the year, and that's where DiBiase goes with his time afterwards. Bigelow making fun of Tatanka in a way that wouldn't play 30 years later, making fun of the Native American at a mock war dance. Tag off to Kama. Kama, of course, the former Papa Shango. And both of those individuals get knocked down with double clotheslines by Bigelow. Bigelow, obviously, the bigger star of the two here in 1995, although he doesn't necessarily fend off that way by the end of the year, actually finishing up around here. Godwinn comes in, hits the clothesline on Kama. Godwinn just kind of going into his, getting into his own, and we see the hip toss take over Sid, the, I guess, crown jewel of the $1 Million Corporation, coming back out at the behest of Ted DiBiase. Sid still trying to find his major space here. Back then, here in 1995, Superstars still treated like a semi-important program. Big slam by Kama in the middle of the ring on Bigelow. Not a match that you have to go out of your way to see. Kind of slow and plodding, but a very basic for the time period match. And Sid tries to interfere here, getting on ahead. I believe Sid and Henry Godwinn have at least one in your house matchup in the upcoming months, and the pull down by Tatanka sending Godwinn over the top rope, causing the distraction. Then we see, obviously, the Sid interfering with a powerbomb on the floor, and Godwinn unable to continue. Then we go to a slam jam with Doc Hendrix. Hendrix basically plugging the upcoming In Your House event at the end of this month, September. The idea there is that all three of the championships, the Intercontinental, World, and Tag Team Championship, will be on the line. Also, a very weak promo where Jean-Pierre Lafitte, otherwise known as currently PCO, is claiming to take Bret Hart out. Bret Hart calls him a stinking thief for stealing his leather jacket, the pink and black jacket, and that is there as well. Hype for the upcoming abridged version of WrestleMania 11. Of course, the LT and Bam Bam Bigelow, as well as clips of the, I don't know if it was shown in full, but clips or in full of the not Razor Ramon, but Diesel and Shawn Michaels match. Then we see Hunter Helmsley coming out with an old Rick Martel-like atomizer, and Hunter is going into this in a enhancement style matchup here. It's there, and without a doubt, that kind of doesn't exactly go the way that anybody wants it to go. Then we go to Hunter Helmsley defeating Tony Williams. He hits him with a pedigree. Pedigree, of course, Hunter's finish. Of course, Hunter is such a major force in the WWF that seeing him in enhancement matches here, especially when they don't really know what they're going to do with him at this point in his professional journey. It's just an interesting thing. Hunter, of course, wearing kind of the blue blood types things, does the atomizer almost like a mock Gorgeous George. Hits some elbows and has a hair piece in his hair, and ultimately comes up hitting the pedigree, sending Williams back into the corner and gets a victory. Also, vignette for Goldust sitting in a movie theater trying to use various movie related quotes. The Goldust character, obviously iconic now, but I don't think they'd found it at this point. Shawn Michaels basically says that he and Diesel are two dudes with attitudes going to get the tag team championships again, which they actually do. Michaels and Diesel, of course, had formulated a multi-year relationship as heels, now as baby faces. Jim Cornette carrying the mouthpiece for Yokozuna and Owen Hart, which is the tag team opponents of one team of the two dudes with attitudes at the upcoming pay-per-view. Not quite sure why they go in this direction. Diesel promises to take care of Big Yokozuna and Camp Cornette. Diesel, of course, your world champion, and he is certainly willing to basically cut any corners he needs to get where he needs to be. Also, we see some basic commercials for the new generation aptitude. The Smoking Guns Come In Your House to plug the In Your House pay-per-view upcoming. Of course, this is 1995, the year that the WWF switches to monthly pay-per-views rather than your Big Four, Big Five that they had done up until this point. Isaac Yankem, a.k.a. Glenn Jacobs, a.k.a. Kane, against Bob Sparkplug Holly. Super basic match. Kane had obviously not found the gimmick that works for him. He's a couple years away from doing that, but you can see some of the talent there. Obviously, the height differential. Kane, almost 6 feet, takes Holly down, and this is obviously meant to be a showcase match for the, I guess, decaying dentist. Big shots into the corner, power slam and such by Kane. Big body slam and backbreakers by Jacobs here, and the top rope clothesline is used by Bob Holly. Holly, of course, doesn't find his way either with a more major gimmick until about 1998 or so. Anyway, both guys with a double down, and the match is relatively simplistic in nature. Holly ducks the clothesline, comes off the ropes, and Kane goes down to a big clothesline in his own right. Then we see, the fans kind of gawking at Yankem eventually getting the victory. Hype for Radford, going to be on the event next week. Then we see Savio Vega. This must be Sweeps Week, as there's a good deal of championship matches. Savio Vega, formerly known as TNT in the Puerto Rican territory, going up against Sid. Sid dominates Savio with some hard shots and some slaps, getting in Savio's face and slapping him. Probably not the smartest thing Sid ever did. Savio fights back, but obviously Sid in the position of being the guy that's treated pretty well, and misses the big boot, does Sid, and the brawl continues. Henry O. Godwin, who'd been out and interfered with by Sid before, comes out and eventually slops Sid. Sid is embarrassed and less than happy with that. Hype for the Razor Ramon and hype for Razor Ramon taking on somebody at the upcoming pay-per-view. Also, in the end, we see the baby faces of Henry O. Godwin, Bam Bam Bigelow, and Savio Vega kind of squaring off against the corporation. Maybe that's where they're going, not really sure. Dean Douglas promises to eradicate the Intercontinental Championship from around the waist of Shawn Michaels upcoming, and or actually talking about beating Razor Ramon. Razor Ramon basically talks about not being impressed with Dean Douglas at any stretch. Of course, Dean Douglas, otherwise known as Shane Douglas of ECW fame. Jim Cornette talks about the Bulldog eventually going on to get rid of Shawn and Diesel, and the fact that all the championships are on the line. Basically, instead of a USA chant, the Bulldog claims that fans will be chanting UK UK. Upcoming highlight package of Gorilla Monsoon, hyping the upcoming There Must Be a New Champion Guaranteed at the In Your House pay-per-view. Just an interesting marketing gimmick. And needless to say, Bam Bam Bigelow and the British Bulldog going at it eventually is upcoming. And we will be back with more right after this.